Most people believe survival is about having more. More food, more gear, more weapons, more supplies stacked floor to ceiling. But collapse doesn't reward accumulation, it rewards precision. When systems fail, they don't fail all at once. They degrade in layers. Power flickers, deliveries stall, information fragments, trust thins. And in that quiet gap between normal and not normal, families either stabilize or they spiral. Stockpiling isn't about fear. It's about understanding which pieces of civilization actually matter when the scaffolding drops away. 10 items, not 100, not a bunker full of randomness. Because survival isn't chaos, it's mechanics. This isn't panic, it's mechanics. When people hear stockpile, they imagine hoarding. Basements full of canned goods, garages stacked with gear they don't know how to use. That's a misunderstanding. Civilization runs on a few invisible systems: water, calories, sanitation, information, medical stability, energy, tools, and coordination. Remove any one long enough, and order begins to erode. The mistake most families make is preparing for drama instead of disruption. Disruption is quieter, slower, more dangerous. So this framework isn't about surviving an explosion, it's about stabilizing through decay. These 10 items aren't random. Each one reinforces a failing system. Each one buys time, and time is the currency of survival. Let's begin with the first layer.
Rule number 1, water storage and purification. The human body lasts weeks without food. It lasts days without water. Municipal water systems rely on electricity, chemical treatment, pressure pumps, and constant maintenance. When power grids strain or supply chains stall, water safety is one of the first quiet casualties. Research suggests that after major disasters, waterborne illness becomes a primary-secondary threat. Bottled water alone is not a solution. It runs out. It's heavy. It disappears from shelves in hours. The critical stockpile item is dual-layered: stored potable water and reliable filtration. Stored water buys immediate stability. Filtration systems extend survivability beyond your storage window. Gravity-fed filters, portable purifiers, backup chemical treatment. Without clean water, everything else collapses. Sanitation fails. Health declines. Morale fractures. There is no quick fix if contamination spreads. You cannot improvise purification safely without preparation. Water is not one item. It is the foundation. The second pressure point: long-term caloric density. Not snacks, not comfort food. Calories. When supply chains pause, grocery stores empty in days. Studies indicate that most urban supermarkets carry only a few days' worth of inventory. The second essential stockpile is shelf-stable, calorically dense food with minimal preparation requirements. Rice, beans, lentils, oats, canned proteins, shelf-stable fats, salt. Fats, especially, are overlooked. They are critical for energy and nutrient absorption. The fragility here is subtle. Hunger does not kill quickly. It weakens judgment. It erodes patience. It increases conflict inside the home. Rebuilding stability requires clear thinking. Caloric deprivation removes that clarity. There is no fast replacement once shelves are bare. Agriculture takes months. Hunting requires skill and time. Barter assumes others have surplus. Food storage is not luxury. It is behavioral insurance. This is where it gets worse: medical stability. Modern medicine feels permanent. It isn't. Hospitals rely on supply chains, sterile environments, electricity, and staff rotation. During system strain, elective care disappears first. Then routine prescriptions become inconsistent. The third critical stockpile category is medical resilience. First aid supplies, broad-spectrum wound care, fever reducers, antidiarrheal medication, oral rehydration salts, backup prescription plans if applicable. Small infections become large problems when clinics are overwhelmed. Minor dehydration becomes dangerous without rehydration support. The fragility here is time. Medical decline accelerates quickly once untreated. There is no quick fix if antibiotics vanish from shelves or emergency rooms exceed capacity. A family that maintains baseline health maintains capability. The final domino of the first layer: sanitation. When water falters and trash pickup pauses, sanitation degrades fast. Stockpiling sanitation supplies sounds mundane. It is not. Heavy-duty trash bags, hygiene wipes, soap, gloves, bleach, basic toilet alternatives if plumbing fails. Studies from disaster zones show that disease outbreaks often follow sanitation breakdown more than initial impact events. The fragility is invisible until it isn't. Odor, contamination, rodents. You cannot rebuild order in filth. Sanitation preserves dignity. Dignity preserves cooperation. And cooperation is survival. Now we move beyond physical survival into stability. Rule number 5. Energy redundancy. Modern homes are dependent on constant electricity, refrigeration, lighting, communication, heating, or cooling. When the grid fails, darkness changes behavior. Studies indicate that crime rates often increase in prolonged blackouts. The stockpile here is not a massive generator. It's layered redundancy, battery banks, solar chargers, rechargeable lighting, backup power for critical devices. The fragility is dependency. Most households cannot function 24 hours without power without severe inconvenience. There is no rapid infrastructure repair if grid components fail regionally. Energy is leverage. Even limited power maintains morale and control. The 6th stabilizer, communication tools. Information stabilizes psychology. When networks fail or become unreliable, rumor replaces fact. And rumor spreads faster than truth. A battery-powered or hand-crank radio. Backup phone charging capability. Printed contact lists. It sounds simple. It isn't. The fragility here is isolation. Families cut off from information make reactive decisions. There is no quick fix for misinformation in a communication vacuum. Information flow maintains orientation. Orientation prevents panic. The 7th essential, lighting and heat control. Environmental exposure is underestimated. Cold environments reduce cognitive function. Excessive heat increases dehydration and irritability. Stockpile warm blankets. Thermal layers. Portable heating alternatives if climate demands. Simple shading and ventilation solutions for heat. The fragility is comfort turning into stress. Stress escalates conflict. There is no overnight solution if fuel delivery halts during winter. Environmental regulation keeps the body within safe operating range. And survival is about maintaining operating range. Now we move into rebuilding capacity. Rule number 8. Tools. Civilization runs on tools. When services stop, self-reliance begins. Basic hand tools, multi-tools, duct tape, rope, work gloves, manual can openers. Without tools, you cannot repair. You cannot modify. You cannot adapt. The fragility here is helplessness. People without tools wait. Waiting increases dependency. There is no quick manufacturing restart at the household level. Tools are force multipliers. The 9th pillar, seeds and knowledge. Food storage buys months. Seeds extend beyond that. Non-hybrid, viable seeds. Gardening manuals. Soil knowledge. Growing food is not immediate. It requires time, space, and skill. The fragility here is long-term sustainability. If supply chains fail for extended periods, stored food eventually depletes. There is no instant agricultural reboot without preparation. Seeds represent continuity, and knowledge determines whether those seeds matter. The 10th and final safeguard, community currency. This isn't about hoarding gold. It's about trade value, extra hygiene supplies, spare batteries, salt, medical extras. History shows that during disruption, small practical goods become barter mediums. The fragility here is isolation economics. Families that cannot trade cannot diversify their resources. There is no immediate cash solution if digital payment systems falter. Barter goods create flexibility. Flexibility sustains resilience.
Systems fail in layers. First water, then food, then health, then sanitation, then power, then information, then environmental control, then tools, then sustainability, then trade. This isn't a prediction. It's a sequence. Research into disaster response shows that communities recover faster when households maintain baseline stability independently. The goal isn't isolation, it's reducing pressure on failing systems. Civilization doesn't collapse in one dramatic moment, it thins. And families that understand the thinning adjust before it snaps. Start small, Start precise. First, calculate a minimum 7-day water reserve per person, then add filtration. Second, build a rotating food supply focused on caloric density and shelf life. Store what you already eat. Third, assemble a comprehensive first aid kit and review expiration dates regularly. Fourth, add layered energy redundancy. Rechargeable lighting and battery banks are practical starting points. Fifth, identify one practical skill to learn: gardening basics, first aid certification, or basic home repair. Do not attempt to buy everything at once. Build in phases. Preparedness is not about fear-driven spending. It is structured reinforcement. Calm, intentional, incremental. Preparation changes posture, not outwardly, quietly. You move differently when you know your family can endure disruption. You think clearly. You react slower. You conserve energy. Stockpiling 10 precise categories is not about expecting the end. It's about respecting fragility. Modern systems are extraordinary. They deliver water, power, medicine, and food with astonishing efficiency. But efficiency removes slack, and slack is what protects you when something goes wrong. You don't need a bunker. You need stability. The system works until it doesn't. Your choice: be surprised or be ready.